day in America. DJ Yingling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
It's time for Marquette College Game Day, powered by ESPN Milwaukee.
Ball knocked, stolen away. We got Nigel James. It's showtime. Yeah, he'll hammer it. No windmill, though. He set a standard so high that I go, that was pretty good.
Presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook and sponsored by National Liquor Mart, Cousin Subs, Exterior Pros, Matrix Basement Finishing, and Marquette Athletics.
He'll try another one. Stevens in the right is good.
He's feeling good right now.
He's now made 6 threes.
Now live from Fiserv Forum, here's Matt Yeazel and Will Sommers.
Let's have a Saturday Milwaukee final Marquette College Game Day here from Fiserv Forum of the 2025-26 season. And a national championship contender is coming to town in the UCONN Huskies.
I thought you were going to say Marquette.
Right, yeah, a national championship contender matchup here at Fiserv
There's
Forum.
some good value on it. You can make some coin off of it.
I don't know what the betting line is today, and I don't care. Let's just have some fun and hope for a fun game on the court, maybe an upset to end the regular season. Matt Yeazel, Will Sommers here on the concourse at Fiserv, right in front of the Buckley statue here. Doubleheader today here at Fiserv Forum. Just a stacked day on the sports calendar in Milwaukee. We're getting the party started early here, 10:30 a.m., 11:30 tip-off. We're taking you up to 11, where Gabe Neitzel has your network pregame coverage. We've got the Bucks game later. If you're heading to the game today, just before we get going, 11 a.m. is when the Senior Day festivities begin. We will honor the seniors here coming up in the next segment. Chase Ross and Ben Gold in particular, of course. And we'll talk about the Providence game that Marquette's coming off of, a very inspiring game on the road. And we'll wrap the show up with kind of some highlights of the year, give out some awards from this season, and kind of wrap up the year. Potential, you and I will have another show depending on how the Big East tournament goes, but we're wrapping things up here, putting a bow on this season here at Fiserv today. So, Will, let's start with that game against Providence. We previewed it from Potawatomi Sportsbook, and, Will, you predicted a loss.
I did predict a loss.
Boy,
see, this is just goes to show you how bad luck I am. I predict wins all year, they lose, and then the one game I predict a loss, they have, arguably their best game of the year.
I'm standing on my high horse today because I did hit the bullseye. 78 points for Marquette. I did call that. I thought it was going to be a closer game with I think I said 78 to 70 Providence. It was a blowout. 78-56. Marquette goes to Providence and effectively hands Kim English his resignation letter. Not resignation, just his firing notice, because it seems like he is on the way out at Providence. And I get it. He was getting the boo birds all night long, and it was fun to watch. In particular, just looking at, we can talk about Providence too, but just on Marquette's end, I mean, just a dominating performance, in particular on the defensive side.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Just the way this season has been going, this doesn't surprise me at all, where Marquette goes, 4 months without a road win at all, and then they end the season on back-to-back road wins. But, I mean, they did exactly what they needed to do against Providence, right? They were a top 30 offense in the country, according to KenPom. What does Marquette do? They force 19 turnovers and have 29 points off of all those turnovers.
19 turnovers.
19 turnovers.
So many right at the start of the game.
Yes. And, it was the reason that this game got me kind of fired up, too, was we saw the duo of Nigel James and Adrian Stevens really come to life, and even national figures like John Fanta. I'm going to give him a national figure title.
Oh, of course.
I tuned into his spaces after the game, his Twitter spaces, and he was saying, this duo is the type of thing that could take Marquette to the tournament next year with the addition of another big man. So it was just really good to see that. And Matt, 17 for 21 on free throws, 81%. Thank you. That's all I want to say is thank you.
Standing
for
ovation.
Once, I did not have to claw my eyes out watching one-and-ones be made. But, it was a great win for Marquette. Definitely towards the end of the year, you want to go out with these types of things and carry that momentum into the next season. So definitely a great win for them.
In John Fanta, we trust. Those are words you want to hear from Mr. Fanta. It's just so fun to watch. Shaka Smart, I listened to his post-game afterwards, talking about Adrian Stevens in particular, who led the way with 21 points, 8 of 12 shooting, 5 for 8 from deep. And he just talked about when he has the confidence on the court, which confidence is not something that comes cheap for a young player like that, a freshman just getting his career underway. And he admitted that it's kind of been up and down a little bit. And sometimes he has it, sometimes he doesn't. But when he has it like that, like you saw him like stepping back and just pulling up from the corner. Like that game is a glimpse of what he can be moving forward in his career. And I think that's what Marquette fans got excited about with him and Nigel James. Like, man, these are two freshmen that are just being able right now for the rest of this season. Like, once this season kind of got to the point where it's like, yeah, you're probably not going to accomplish much this year, it's all about just developing those guys. And what a cherry on top of the season that game was.
Yeah, we've seen Adrian Stevens grow a lot since game one this year. Like, I remember one of the first games when they were playing like Southern or UAlbany, like I just noticed him as a guy that was sitting in the corner, you know, shooting threes, kind of just setting up camp out there. And now he's like this, you know, he's been drawing comparisons to Stevie Mitchell with his defensive play. And I remember the first time I was like really came to realize his athleticism was the Wisconsin game where he had that massive dunk. So it's just been really fun to see him. And I think he's shown you enough flashes where it just gets you even more excited because you're like, what else does he have in the tank? Like, he's continuously gotten better throughout the entire season. But yeah, I mean, the confidence is big. You can definitely tell when he doesn't have it.
Yeah.
He's a lot more quiet, a lot more hesitant to take those shots. But I mean, when he's feeling it, when he's in his bag, he's taking any open look, and it's going down. I mean, 8 for 12 from the field, 5 for 8 on threes, and 4 steals to go along with it. Great game from Adrian Stevens.
A lot of fun. Definitely a game that I'm going to remember moving forward as we get beyond this, you know, mostly tough season. All right. That's enough of that. Let's honor the seniors. It is senior day here. Again, the festivities begin at 11 a.m. if you're on your way to Fiserv Forum here today. Also, if you're thinking about getting a drink after the game, good luck. It is the Shamrock Shuffle today. There's going to be a lot of green shirts swarming the downtown and surrounding areas here in Milwaukee. So it's going to be a big day. And the Bucks play later tonight against whatever's left of the Utah Jazz. Let's honor the seniors. Chase Ross and Ben Gold put an end to their Fiserv Forum careers today. Let's shine a light on what they've meant to this university, this program, after the break here on Marquette College Game Day on 94.5 ESPN.
More Golden Eagles hoops talk coming up on Marquette College Game Day. 94.5 ESPN is the home of Marquette basketball.
Grab the dial and crank it up, baby, because Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee is spinning its Winning Hits collection. Over the next 3 months, you could win a share of over $1 million in prizes. On top of thousands in cash and reward play, you could win one of 3 new Ford vehicles in the grand finale drawings on March 27th. Just play with your rewards card to earn entries. Press play on the Winning Hits collection, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
At Marquette University, it's all about finishing strong, just like Matrix Basement Finishing. From first tip to final buzzer, Marquette plays with purpose and passion and precision values shared by the Matrix teams in every lower-level transformation they complete. Hey, it's Greg Matzik, and as someone currently having my own basement finished by Matrix, I can tell you firsthand they truly live up to their name. Whether you're cheering from the stands or relaxing in your newly finished basement, remember the best teams and the best homes always finish strong.
Join Cousins Club Rewards today. Grab your first sub and your next one could be free. After your first qualifying purchase, you'll earn a free sub and start collecting points for free food, exclusive deals, and even Cousins gear. Sign up today. It's fast and easier than ever on the Cousins Subs app. Earn points online, on the app, or in store. However you enjoy Cousins Subs, your rewards are right at your fingertips. Cousins Subs. We believe in better.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geist today. For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage door authority in Wisconsin. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to get your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geistdoors.com. That's GEIS doors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield, featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
Heck yeah! It's ESPN Wisconsin's Alex Stroh for my friends at Robert Hack Diamonds. Listen, when it came to buying an engagement ring for my now fiance, I had no idea what I was doing, which is why I went to the team at Robert Hack. I heard her say words like radiant cut and solitaire. but to be real honest, I didn't really know what that meant. So I wrote it down, I brought it to the team at Robert Hack Diamonds in Greenfield, and they knocked it out of the park. It's true, if you've never been through this process before, the team at Robert Hack are absolute experts. 3 locations in the Milwaukee area, 1 in Greenfield, Brookfield South, and Brookfield North. If you're looking to take the next step like I did, and your girlfriend maybe is posting things on her Pinterest page or is showing you pictures, bring it into Robert Hack. They'll do their best to duplicate a dream ring for her, just like they did for my fiance. Moral of the story, if you were like me and you want to start, you just don't really know where, the answer's clear. Visit one of the 3 Robert Hack locations in the Milwaukee area. Just like me, at the end, you'll say, "Hack yeah," with Robert Hack Diamonds. And RobertHackDiamonds.com, that's RobertHackDiamonds.com.
This is Marquette College Game Day, presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook and sponsored by National Liquor Mart, Cousin Subs, Exterior Pros, and Matrix Basement Finishing on the home of Marquette basketball, 94.5 ESPN.
Senior Day inside of Fiserv Forum. Marquette takes on UCONN. The national championship contender. Would be a heck of an upset to wrap up this regular season for Marquette. I mentioned the Bucks also play today. Shout out to the Fiserv Forum crew working a double shift today. Are you heading to that Bucks game? You can make a bet at Potawatomi Sportsbook and catch a shuttle right here to Fiserv Forum. After purchase or bet, a wristband will be given at the bar or betting counter upon request. Must have a wristband to board shuttles leaving Potawatomi. Wristbands are not required for return shuttles. Seating is limited and on a first-come, first-served basis. Shuttle pickups and drop-offs will be in the annex next to Potawatomi Sportsbook. Shuttles begin departing Potawatomi 1 hour and 15 minutes before game time, and return shuttles begin the third quarter and run nonstop until 1 hour after the game. Bet above the rest. All right, let's honor the seniors. Not only Ben Gold and Chase Ross, also shout out to Jonah Lucas and
Skunk Guy,
Casey O'Malley, and 2 senior managers, Terry Gordon and Owen DiSabatino. That sounds Italian.
There you go.
Wrapping up their careers, and I'll just provide the numbers here in the game notes. This group came in at a pretty great time, Will.
Yeah.
The 2022-23 season, the Big East regular season and tournament championships. And I have to say, both of these players, Ross and Gold, had an impact on that team right away.
Right.
Certainly not starting, but, coming off and playing an impactful role. I remember Chase Ross hit a few threes against St. John's in that Big East tournament. It was like 3 3-pointers out of nowhere for a guy that was not a three-point shooter, at least right away in his career. But it obviously included the Sweet 16 run the next season in their sophomore years. 90 overall wins and 3 NCAA tournament appearances for this group. What do you think is kind of their lasting legacy for Chase Ross and Ben Gold in particular?
Yeah, I mean, obviously their senior season hasn't quite gone the way that they thought it would, especially with all this, like you mentioned, the sustained success that they had their first 3 years here. But, I mean, like you said, we can't forget that they played integral roles during that Big East championship team their freshman year. And I think it's a big testament to their character this year, even though there's not a lot of wins to show for it. Both of these guys, Chase Ross and Ben Gold, have been fighting through injuries, right? Like, Chase Ross popped his shoulder out against Georgetown and then was playing on last Sunday against DePaul with, like, so much wrap or whatever, like a huge brace on it. Ben Gold rolled his ankle at St. John's a couple months ago. And, like, in games that, probably in the grand scheme of things don't mean a ton, they've continued to fight through injuries and get themselves back on the court to play. And I just think that goes to show a lot about their character, and also hopefully they're laying the foundation for this next group, right? Like, these are 2 guys who, like Nigel James, Adrian Stevens, Royce Parham, played big roles as young players in this program. So it's kind of like, I think about like the Indiana football team, where those seniors, they really laid the foundation for the national championship team this year. And even though they didn't get to experience all the success that the team had this year, they really put them in a good spot in order to achieve all that success this year.
Absolutely. I think that's the biggest part of this day for me, is kind of honoring the last of the guard of kind of that great successful run, and not that another run won't start. I think we're all hoping as Marquette fans that next year is the start of that group's run, right? Like the Nigel and Adrian Stevens run, as we just talked about. But, this is kind of a day to honor what the careers of these 2 has meant, but also just that whole group, right? Of Cam Jones, Stevie Mitchell, Tyler Kolek, like all these guys, like as Shaka Smart took over and had so much kind of unprecedented success right away, like that's what these two represent. They're kind of the last two guardians, as we call them. Obviously not part of that trio last year, but man, like that's what the end of last season was, and last season didn't end how we hoped, but it was still a successful season of making the tournament, and it was a great end to the run for Jones, Joplin, and Mitchell, and now, these two have their opportunity to shine, despite that this season has not gone quite to plan because of injuries and, just a whole new roster. But I think it's certainly a day to celebrate what this program has accomplished as of late. And, I think just looking at these two in particular, I think we all thought Chase Ross could have been an NBA player. I don't know if that momentum is still there. I don't know if he's in mock drafts anymore. But I certainly hope to see something from him after Marquette. And I think he should obviously pursue that because he was a great role player when the system was around him. And when the team has a clear point guard, and now Marquette does, but I don't think the system set up around him enough to where his skill sets could be used around him. And I just think Chase Ross could fit in very well in the right team, in the right system, and Ben Gold as well, right? He's a good rebounder. He can be a good shooter, a bit inconsistent at times, but I certainly hope to see good things from these two moving forward. What do you think about their prospects?
Yeah, you mentioned the sort of roster construction this year, and I think it was a very uncomfortable position that Chase Ross was forced into.
Yep.
I don't know, like, his specific thoughts on it, but from the outside perspective looking in, it kind of seems like he's not the type of player that he was being counted on, you know, and it's not his fault, right? Like he's not the same caliber as a Nigel James who can run the point and really open up the rest of the offense. I mean, like you said, he's a role player who is a freak athlete, can play above the rim, and here and there will knock down a couple threes. So I think it's I just hope people don't remember this year, right? I don't want this year to be their lasting legacy. Like you said, it's sort of like a passing of the guard of that era of Marquette basketball. And I think in this season where, it's kind of a down year is kind of where we can transition this into the new era of Marquette basketball with all these young players, with Nigel James, with Adrian Stevens and Royce Parham. So it's definitely a celebration of all their time here, but I also think it's a celebration of that era of Marquette basketball. I don't want to say ending. That sounds too sad. Let's do passing the torch,
There you go.
And transitioning into the next.
Absolutely. Yeah, just to wrap up on Chase, I think last year was kind of the year that was kind of the peak of his abilities, like playing alongside Cam Jones.
He was like, Cam Jones made him way better, and I know we're calling out a couple specific moments, but
yes, please.
Like a couple years ago, I think this was last year. Yeah, last year, Chase Ross randomly went on a tangent where he was just scoring remember this, 25-plus points a game and just throwing down hammer dunks. And I think that's a credit to all the other weapons that they had, and them just kind of forgetting about Chase Ross and how athletic he is and how well he can play. And obviously, guys like Stevie Mitchell also impacted that, on the defensive end, leading to transition where Chase Ross functions best. So I don't think he was set up for success, completely. And I don't know if we want to put blame on anyone. I don't know if it's anyone's fault or the program, might have needed this. I've said it multiple times that, it's hopefully one step backwards to two steps forward.
100%. All right, let's wrap up the show by giving some awards. MVP, most improved player, biggest surprise, and just put a grade on the overall season, again, as we put a bow on things here from Fiserv Forum. On Senior Day, Marquette taking on UConn. We'll wrap up Marquette College Game Day after this on 94.5 ESPN.
More Golden Eagles hoops talk coming up on Marquette College Game Day. 94.5 ESPN is the home of Marquette basketball.
At Marquette University, it's all about finishing strong, just like Matrix Basement Finishing. From first tip to final buzzer, Marquette plays with purpose and passion and precision values shared by the Matrix teams in every lower-level transformation they complete. Hey, it's Greg Matzik, and as someone currently having my own basement finished by Matrix, I can tell you firsthand they truly live up to their name. Whether you're cheering from the stands or relaxing in your newly finished basement, remember the best teams and the best homes always finish strong.
Feeling lucky? Then roll into Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee this March for Lucky Rollers. Every Thursday, we're giving away over $70,000 in prizes. Play with your Potawatomi rewards card for entries, and you can roll out with $550 in reward play. Or get lucky and win your share of $16,000 in cash. Lucky Rollers, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
March into big savings at Exterior Pros and Baths. Refresh your home this season with energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, beautiful new siding, or a stunning bath remodel and get $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings during their March savings event. But this offer won't last long. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
National Liquor Mart is packed with deals to get you through the winter. During basketball season, remember to stop by National Liquor for all your Marquette pre- and post-game needs. If you're hosting a party and want to impress your guests, stop in to National Liquor where the varieties are endless. They have the cleanest store and the coldest beer. National Liquor Mart, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. National Liquor, open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily on the corner of 16th and National.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after. An in-depth recap of every Bucks game. In 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. If you missed any of the game or just want to relive the biggest moments, Bucks in 6 provides game recaps every morning after. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis or the deep threes from Miles Turner. And catch the comments post-game about what happened on the court. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
At Saturn Lounge, we know. If your marketing actually worked, you would know. Your website would perform. Your storytelling would inspire. Your campaigns would deliver leads that become sales. You wouldn't need a report to tell you. Visit SaturnLounge.com today. When marketing works, it shows.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNWisconsinContests.com.
That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. This is Marquette College Game Day, presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook and sponsored by National Liquor Mart, Cousin Subs, Exterior Pros, and Matrix Basement Finishing on the home of Marquette basketball, 94.5 ESPN.
Wrapping up the show here on Marquette College Game Day, Senior Day, inside of Fiserv Forum. Marquette takes on UCONN. And Marquette basketball knows how to finish strong, so does Matrix Basement Finishing. Turn your lower level into a space you'll love with craftsmanship that delivers the win every time. Matrix Basement Finishing, proud partner of Marquette Athletics. Learn more at matrixbasements.com. Matt Yeazel, Will Sommers with you here. And Will, it's time to give some grades, give out some awards. This is the end of season Marquette College Game Day award show and honoree show. So I'm going to hit you with this right from the start. What is the grade that you give Marquette this season overall, regardless of the Big East tourney results? The season's not over. Again, we might be hosting a show. We might not, coming up from MSG as Marquette is there. But how would you give, or what grade would you give this season regardless of what happens after today?
It's tough because I want to give a higher grade, and I think people would look at me a little crazy. But when you, for people that don't watch the games and just look at the box score, you'd probably give this season like a D to a D+, right? But yes. I'm going to go C. I mean, obviously, any year that you don't have a winning record is not a win. I think you need, it would at least be a B if you had a winning record. So to have that really brings it down. But then just all the young potential and the excitement and, Shaka Smart confirming that they will use the transfer portal. I'm going to go around C to C+, which was pretty much my GPA in college. So it's pretty, on par there. C's get degrees.
I was going to say, thinking back to my time at Marquette, there was a class or two where it's if it's in your major or minor, I think you had to get a C+ to pass. Yeah. So
I know that.
Thinking along those terms, I can't give a C+ because I don't think Marquette passed this season. I think it was in general a not failure, that's too strong of a word, but it's certainly not what you wanted. So I'm going to go on the C- end. I'll be a little more harsh than you because I just think things went off the rails so hard early on. And it was, there was a point there where it's man, where are you going to get these wins. Even though the Big East is in a fairly down year, that's what stings a little bit. It's like, man, if we had this version of this Marquette team, even though they're still not great, right? Like, they still have struggled to win 2 games in a row, but they've competed in most of these games. And you think, like, wow, if this is the Nigel we had from the jump, which is too much to expect for a freshman, right? But overall, I give it a C- on the season. Let's quickly hit some awards. MVP, most improved, and if you have a biggest surprise.
Can I say Nigel James for all 3? No, I'm just kidding. Biggest surprise, I would say, is Adrian Stevens. Didn't know he had this in him to be like a legitimate 2 option. Yeah. I think we talked about it a lot at the beginning of the year when we assumed Chase Ross was going to be the number 1 option, that they needed a solidified two guy. Yeah. And I think now we have a couple, Royce Parham being one and Adrian Stevens being the other. Adrian Stevens, I think, I just didn't know he had all that stuff in him, like the athleticism, the defense. He can finish at the rim and shoot. He's got a lot in his repertoire. Most improved, Royce Parham. I mean, this is a guy who, at the beginning of the year, didn't even start. He was coming off the bench, and now he's playing practically the whole game. His legs are, I don't know how his legs are doing. I'm sure he's looking forward to a little break before the Big East tournament. But, I mean, he just has such a knack for finding the rim and getting those buckets inside, and I think he's been tasked with a lot more than he expected, right? Yep. Like, since Marquette doesn't really have a solidified rebounder, he's almost been that 4 and 5 sometimes because Ben Gold likes to play outside. So most improved definitely to Royce Parham, and then I'm going to go quickly here, Nigel James MVP. No, I don't need to explain that at all.
Yeah, so I think you hit the answer key. I think those are the answers to those questions. The other contenders, I think you could argue Demarius Owens potentially.
Demarius Owens.
Right, yeah, Demarius Owens definitely most improved. A biggest surprise, I would say, on the other side, Chase Ross kind of not being the scoring leader. And I would also say maybe just the lack of Sean Jones being a factor on this team, because we certainly thought it was like his point guard year and Nigel coming off the bench. So those would be the awards for me. That does it for us here on Marquette College Game Day. Hey, thanks for tuning in all season long. Hopefully we can talk to you again next week for the Big East Tournament, but if not, shout out to my co-host, Will. It's been fun talking with you all year. Shout out to Brian D. Thanks for giving us the opportunity, of course. Thanks to our producer for this last show, Josh DiMaggio, and Chris Larson, our normal producer, as well. Tune in for Game Night's coming up next with your network pregame coverage. Enjoy the game.
My house